Hi, I'm Madison Best. Thanks for joining. I'm here outside the home of number 29, third baseman for the New York Yankees, Todd Frazier. Join me as I talk to Todd about his passion for baseball on today's edition of Home Field Advantage. All right, Todd, so how's your family doing?
Family's great. You know, I got two kids. My daughter just turned 2 in December, and my son will be 3 in March, or 4 in March, excuse me. Love everything. My son enjoys baseball like I do all the time, and my wife's doing great as well. We're just having a really good off season right now, and I can't really ask for much more.
So how hard is it to balance your personal life and your professional baseball career?
It's very hard, because my wife basically does all the background stuff. Nobody hears about how I basically get a place to live at, how I get my car from place to place. And, I thank God I have her because she has been dynamite with all that. I don't get to see my kids as often, but, when I do, it's like a really good surprise, and they're always excited to see me. But, it's that mix between work and family life that right now I thought I've been doing a pretty good job at it, but the more I see my family, the better off I feel, for sure.
So now rewinding a little bit back to the start of your career, let's talk a little bit about the Little League Championships back in 1998. You were only 5'2" and 104 pounds at the age of 12, so very small. So what was it like, the training regimen then when you were so small, and how did the training progress from when you joined the team of Rutgers, for your college career?
Yeah, our whole team was actually small. We were like the underdogs in every game we played. We focused on just little things, having fun, enjoying the game of baseball, and our regimen was basically going out there and playing home run derby and fielding competition. Our coach was very relaxed. We were all relaxed. We didn't really lift as much. As I got older, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, a lot more speed and agility stuff. And basically when my junior, senior year in high school, I started hitting the weights and got bigger and stronger, and that's when I finally got taller too as well. Once you play in college and then in the major leagues, it's definitely, you got to hit the weights and keep getting after it. I didn't want to get too big because I don't want to be able to swing a bat, but definitely maintain everything.
Yeah, so now let's talk a little bit about your experience at Rutgers and how that led you to actually being the first-round pick in the MLB draft once you got to that point.
Fred Hill, one of the most coveted college coaches there is in the game of baseball. He doesn't do it anymore, but he helped me along the way. We worked on defense first. Defense was a big thing for me. I didn't know exactly where I'd be, either shortstop or third base. And ultimately, after a guy got injured, I went and played shortstop, and the rest was history at Rutgers. And I found basically a good little detailed regimen for me. I would wake up, whether I had class or whatever it was, go hit the weights, maybe take a nap in between there, hit the homework, and it was baseball time. And I finally understood that you need to have a perfect schedule to be the best athlete you can be.
Best memory that you had at Rutgers, whether it be a practice or a game, was there a fond memory that you have going back to that experience?
Yeah, it was one of the Big East tournament my junior year, right before I left to go play minor league ball for the Reds. It was, we had an unbelievable year. We tied St. John's for the Big East title, and then we went on in the championship game, played UConn, and we won that game. And it was, the dog pile and all that kind of stuff is awesome, but we worked our tails off that year to become the Big East champs and make it to our first group final in a couple years.
So jumping ahead a little bit to the majors now, you started out with the Reds, then you moved over to the White Sox, then the Yankees picked you up there. What was it like being back home and playing for the Yankees? Because that was the team that you looked up to when you were a child.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind, to be honest. The Reds were a great organization. Everything was good. I left every place on a happy note, and once I got that call to play for the Yankees, I was pinching myself. I'm like, my career has been a lot of fun so far, and then now doing this, everybody be like nervous and scared. I'm like, I took this on full storm, and I couldn't believe where I was. The Yankees organization was an awesome organization. They treat people, with first class, and it's something that I'll definitely never forget because just, not only the team, but how far we went and how much fun it was, the game of baseball. I'm not saying I didn't have fun playing, but it was just that much more.
Yeah. So moving on to your current spot in the league, you're a free agent. So what do you like and dislike about that?
I think the dislikes are the waiting game, trying to figure out where you're going to go. The ball's in your court, so once you have a couple teams interested, which I do, we go from there. So at the end of the day, we got to just keep working hard. My agent's doing a great job of talking to a bunch of teams, and lo and behold, hopefully something comes into fruition pretty soon.
Now, can you comment on any of the negotiations that are currently being discussed?
Yeah, we're talking to a lot of teams. We're basically just looking for the best fit possible, and there's a bunch of them. So, that's the bottom line. I got to let my agent do his job.
So the Yankees have a few players in mind, but what do you have to offer that Manny Machado and Miguel Andujar don't have?
I think all of us are really good athletes. I think we all play really good third base. I'm not questioning their integrity or anything. I think they work their butts off. I think I do too. But at the end of the day, man, it's a matter of who's willing to go that extra step, that extra mile. And I try to do that all the time, And I love playing against Manny Machado. He's unbelievable. I've worked with Miguel this season right before the playoffs. He's a wonderful young kid. He's going to be a star one day, and I hope the best for all of them.
Now, Miguel Andujar is a very young player, and obviously you're not as young as he is. What matters more, in your opinion, experience or youth?
I think experience is huge. I tell the guys all the time, you got guys that are in the playoffs, and they've been there before. I think that gives them just a little upper hand. Youth is great. The guys got energy, emotion, enthusiasm. They're ready to go. They're ready to do anything at any cost to be on the team, and I think it kind of intertwines with everything. When I was young, I did everything I could. I had Scotty Rowland to look up to, hopefully a future Hall of Fame third baseman. I watched his work ethic, and as a young guy, I was a big believer in you got two eyes and one mouth. Why don't you use them? And I definitely did. With him, especially a guy, his 7-8 Gold Gloves, a bunch of Silver Slugger awards, and I was trying to watch everything he did, and if I can do a morsel of what he did, I was happy. And we have had a lot of guys like Aaron Judge and Sanchez and just a bunch of other guys on the team. The experience that they've had doing that in their first year, it's going to show so much more as they go on in their careers. It's going to make it that much easier for them to get to the World Series.
So how does your experience overpower the youth in, your personal experience?
For me, having two older brothers, I got to experience exactly what they did. I never played with kids my age or younger. They said, you know what, Todd, get your butt over here. You're playing with guys 4 or 5 years older than you, and you're on our team. Let's see what you got. I'd always get knocked down. My brother would always say, you're all right, get up, let's go. And that's the bottom line. They just understood that, the only way to get better is to play with better competition.
Now, looking forward to this upcoming season, regardless of what team you're on, what are your goals?
I always have team goals first, and then I do my individual goals. It's funny you bring that up. I always send both my brothers, I send in an envelope what I want my goals to be, and I always set them high. My high school coach, Ken Frank, always said, set your goals high. For me, team goals always win the World Series, get to the playoffs, be the best team player I can be, and then let those individual goals take care of themselves once the team goals are hit.
So talking a little bit about power as a baseball player, what are the chances that a baseball player's power increases when they get older?
I think it stays the same, to be honest with you. I don't think you lose any of it. I think maybe you get smarter with pitch selection. I think that's a big part. I think that's what I've done lately. This last year, my on-base percentage went up. I was seeing a lot more pitches. I think I was top 5 in the league and seeing pitches as a hitter. I don't think the power goes away. I think just more knowledge of what kind of pitches to hit, and then ultimately that'll lead into more home runs.
There are fewer third basemen in the Hall of Fame than there are out of any other position. So I guess what's the hardest part of being a third baseman in your opinion, and how is it different from any other position?
It's just something I guess that's going on in baseball. Maybe they're looking for a few different things from third baseman, but you're known for hitting home runs. I think that's a corner outfields and quarter infields. You got to be quick, because for me, you got one step and you got to get that ball. They call it the hot corner for a reason. Talked about Scott Rowland. He's got a really good shot at getting there, but we'll see how it goes. We just got to keep playing hard. There's a bunch of really good third basemen out there right now that are, hopefully in 10, 15 years when they're done playing, they're going to get a shot at getting the Hall of Fame. So
you're an incredibly strong family man, very humble. So can you talk to me a little bit about Frazier baseball and what that means to you and kind of what it really is?
Yeah, family's everything for me. I got two older brothers, like I said. They both have 2 different divisions that they do, Frazier baseball and Frazier downtown, and they're both great athletes. They love the game of baseball. We love the game of baseball. We try and help out as many young boys and girls as possible to enjoy the game and don't worry about the outcome. I think nowadays younger kids are worried about outcomes more than enjoying it and trying to get something else out of it. And that's what we try and instill on these guys today, that enjoy the game, have fun, and sky's going to be the limit. Because, I always wanted to be a Major League Baseball player when I was younger. Did I think I was going to be? There were some times where I didn't think so. There's those times where you go back and you think, like, man, this is crazy course I'm in, and I don't know if I really if I'm going to do it. And eventually I did, and that's having a good backbone within my family and talking to my dad every other day about it. And he's just telling me, keep pushing, man. You got to keep pushing. And lo and behold, I've been playing for almost over 7 years in the major leagues, and I couldn't ask for anything better.
Exactly. Look where you are now.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's a motto that you live by, whether it be in the sport of baseball or just a life motto that you have in general?
Yeah, I have a bunch of them. The one that I'm very passionate about is, I call them the 3 big E's: enthusiasm, emotion, and energy. And that's something I've brought to the table. You ask anybody, and there's nothing fake about it. I bring energy every day. I'm very emotional. I'm not afraid to cry. I don't care about that. And enthusiasm. You got to have all those in this sport. And some guys do it differently. Some guys are quiet. I like to talk. I like to, get everybody energized, and the guys that are quiet in the corner, I like to get them even more energized because they're like, get away from me. No, let's go. Let's get fired up. Let's enjoy this wonderful game of baseball. How many people in the world are wanting to do what we do? And there's thousands, there's millions of them, and to do what we do every day and get paid to do it, there's nothing better.
So I have to ask, where did this come from, as it's a big franchise now for the Yankees team?
We were supposed to play Tampa Bay Rays in Tampa, but then the big storm hit, and we had to play in New York at the Met Stadium. So basically it was a home field advantage for us when it wasn't supposed to. And so there was a fan there, and he's a season ticket holder for the Mets. I hit a home run, a 3-run home run. I come in, and I'm high-fiving, and the camera just basically turns to the left. I guess he found this guy, and he's got the pouty face on, just going like this. So it was in like a GIF the next day on Twitter, and Aaron Judge came and he goes, "Did you see it?" I go, "Dude, I saw it. Isn't that crazy?" He goes, "You got to do that every hit you get." I said, "Oh my God, I'll be showing up the picture." So lo and behold, I get an RBI single. The next day we play at the same stadium, and I told the first baseman, Logan Morrison, I know very well, I said, "Hey, don't get mad at me, but this guy," he goes, "Don't worry, I already saw it." So I went down like this. Next day after, I hit another 3-run homer, and the whole dugout's going like this, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna catch on like wildfire," and it did. And it's just something that is so opposite of what it should be. It turned out to be a very good thing for New York. And I see guys walking down the street today, even in Tom Driver, and they're just like, "Frazier." I'm like, God almighty. Everybody's like, "Why is he giving you a thumbs down?" People that don't know. And I'm like, "Don't worry, it's an inside joke. It's a good thing."
I wonder what that guy's thinking now. He's like, "I came up with this whole thing."
Exactly.
He's not even on your team.
He's doing good. They made a bobblehead for him and everything, and he's just enjoying life, I guess.
So this is kind of a broad question, but just a curiosity. What's your favorite part of the game?
My favorite part, I think, is before the game. I always go out like a half hour before stretch, and I see little kids and their smiles on their faces, and I think about it, man, is this their first time coming to watch, a baseball game? And for me, I want to make them the happiest they can be. I want them to enjoy the experience as much as possible, whether it's an autograph or, a high five or a fist pump, and they can live with that for the rest of their lives. And I think that's something, when you see a kid smile when they leave, like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the world." They can cherish that, and that's how I was when I was little. Just looking for a high five from a professional, and just seeing the roar of the crowd. You're out there sometimes, and there's a timeout. I just look around, and I'm like, God, this is pretty darn cool.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me and conducting this interview with me. I really appreciate it.
I had a great time. Thank you.